the hypocrisy of Deontay Wilder and 99.9% of his fans continues. Because in this Dillian Whyte adverse findings, PED test controversy, you've got Deontay Wilder coming out saying that Dillian Whyte should be banned for a number of years. You've got many of his fans, if not most, saying Dillian Whyte should be banned from the sport and this, that, and the other. When all the while, Deontay Wilder is talking about having rematches in his next 2 fights against 2 guys who have been popped for PEDs. Where was the call for Deontay Wilder, from Deontay Wilder for Luis Ortiz to be banned for a number of years? He went ahead and fought Luis Ortiz just months after Luis Ortiz popped dirty. The man went ahead and fought him. And that wasn't the first time that Luis Ortiz had popped dirty. And he didn't fight him in some kind of mandatory challenge where he had no option other than to fight Ortiz. No, he gave him a voluntary shot, and he's willing to give him another voluntary shot, and he's willing to give Fury another voluntary shot. So 4 voluntary shots that Deontay Wilder is willing to give to PED cheats. But yet when it comes to Dillian Whyte, oh no, I ain't gonna fight him. He's a PED cheat. Like the contradiction there, the hypocrisy is laughable. But Deontay Wilder is not the sharpest tool in the box. Most of his fans are not the sharpest tools in the box, which is why you get this constant hypocrisy from him. The truth is, Deontay Wilder never wanted to fight Dillian Whyte in the first place. So this PED situation is just the perfect excuse for Deontay Wilder to say, oh, I'm never fighting him. And the way it's looking, the WBC never really wanted Dillian Whyte to fight Deontay Wilder either. So perhaps this is a perfect excuse for them to remove Dillian Whyte as the interim champion mandatory challenger, and maybe he should be removed. We have to wait and see when all the facts come out with regards to whether he's guilty or innocent. If the B sample comes back positive and, more information comes out that proves that he definitely did have a performance enhancing drug in his system, then he should be removed. But at the same time, I mentioned in another video I uploaded today, the fact that when Alexander Povetkin tested positive for meldonium a couple of years back, I think that was in 2016 when he was supposed to fight Wilder, his A and B sample both came back dirty for the Wilder fight. But the WBC did not suspend Povetkin after that fight. Facts. They kept him in their rankings. They put him in a fight against Stavern. That's what was supposed to happen. And the Stavern fight, I think, was supposed to be for the interim title. And that's after Povetkin popped dirty. Are they going to do the same with Dillian Whyte if his B sample comes back dirty as well? Are they going to be consistent? I mean, maybe there are other factors that they take into account, to be fair. But I do have to bring that up. But that is how they treated Povetkin. They gave Povetkin a second bite of the cherry, another chance to get that Wilder fight. But of course, he popped dirty again for a different substance when he was supposed to fight Stavern. And then he eventually did get banned by the WBC or suspended by them. So he was dropped from their rankings for quite a long time. I'm not sure if he's still dropped from their rankings at the moment. I don't know. But yeah, the hypocrisy from Wilder and his fans is outrageous. It really is so blatant, because these are not real boxing fans. These are not people who want to see the best fight the best. I said a very long time ago, last year, that most Deontay Wilder diehards don't want to see Wilder fight AJ. They're desperate for the fight not to happen. And a lot of AJ fans came at me sideways and said, no, man, you're wrong. They do want to see the fight. No. I know the fanboy. I know the mentality of fanboys. I'm telling you now, the majority, and most people can see it now. Most of the Wilder fanboys did not want Wilder to fight AJ, which is why when AJ lost to Ruiz, they were so happy Wilder was so happy. That's not the reaction of somebody who really wanted to be the one to beat AJ. Wilder was happy that somebody else went in there and did the job that he wasn't willing to do. That's why he was happy. If he really wanted to do that job, he would have been like, oh man, I'm pissed. I wanted to be the one to knock AJ out. You know, that's how his reaction would have been. But it was the exact opposite of that. This guy's still beaming. He's still skinning teeth all these months later. He can't believe it. He's so happy that someone else did the job that he wasn't willing to do. Same with the Wilder fan. They're so happy because they didn't want Wilder to fight AJ. Same goes for this Wilder-Dillian Whyte situation. These Wilder fans were openly saying that they hope Wilder freezes Dillian Whyte out. I mean, that is not the mentality of a real boxer. If you're a real boxing fan, you want to see the best fight the best. You want to see the champions fight all the best available contenders. That's how it was in the previous golden ages of heavyweight boxing. In the 1990s, Lennox Lewis didn't just fight Holyfield and Tyson. No, he fought a load of the top contenders. He fought David Tua. He fought Andrew Gallotta. You know, he fought, obviously, Razor Ruddock when they were both contenders. And he fought Vitaly Klitschko. So he was fighting a whole heap of top contenders as well as the champions. So if you're a real boxing fan, that's what you should want to see Deontay Wilder do. And there's no contender out there with a resume to match Dillian Whyte's resume. There's no contender out there. Other than, well, Anthony Joshua's a contender at the moment. If you take Joshua and maybe Fury out of the equation, all right, there's nobody out there among the contenders with a resume like Dillian Whyte. Nobody. So if you're a real boxing fan, you would want to see Dillian Whyte face Deontay Wilder, at least prior to this UCAD situation, okay? This UCAD situation might change things. If he turns out guilty, he should be banned. But prior to this UCAD situation, it was the same. They were desperate for Deontay Wilder not to fight Dillian Whyte. These are not boxing fans, people. These are fanboys. Yeah? Most of them are fair weather fans anyway. If Deontay Wilder gets knocked off by somebody, they'll jump ship and find someone else to start supporting instead. They're just fair weather fans. They're not boxing fans. Yeah, if you're a real boxing fan, you want to see the best fight the best. It doesn't matter whether you hate one of the fighters or not. You want to see the best fight the best. I've always wanted to see AJ fight Wilder, Wilder fight Fury, AJ fight Fury, Ruiz fight Fury and Wilder. I mean, I want to see all the best guys fight the other best guys. You're not going to find me say, yeah, it's good that we're so-and-so's freezing this other guy out. Yeah, serves him right. That'll learn him. Like, you don't see me talking that kind of nonsense because I'm a boxing fan, first and foremost. I just want to see the best fight the best, and that's it. But for the majority of these Wilder fanboys, they ain't like that. And before I close out, I'll probably do a separate video on this, but before I close out, Kaunaki was offered the Joshua fight. Facts. He now regrets the fact that he had to turn down the Joshua fight. He says he wasn't in shape and so had to turn it down. Now, obviously, it wasn't AJ's fault that he wasn't in shape. Miller popped dirty. AJ had to find a replacement opponent real quick. So it's not like AJ was doing anything unfair to Kaunaki and springing a fight on him to try and gain an advantage. No, he had to find a replacement opponent. Simple as that. Kaunaki, even though he wasn't in fighting shape, he must still be thinking, oh man, maybe I could have even beaten him without being in tip-top shape. Who knows? These are the kind of thoughts that are going to be going through his head. Because the way that Ruiz was able to dispatch of AJ, Kaunaki must be thinking, I could have done that. So you can see in this article, there's disappointment there from Kaunaki. And now Kaunaki says, you know what? I need to stay in shape all year round because I can't miss out on an opportunity like that again. That is the kind of reaction that you would get from somebody who really wanted to fight AJ. That's the kind of reaction you get. Like, oh man, I missed out on becoming a champion. I missed out on a career high payday. But that's not what you get from Deontay Wilder. From Wilder, you just celebration. That's all you get from the guy. Missed out on the biggest payday that he has ever even come close to seeing. And a bigger payday than he might ever get. I mean, we don't know. And his reaction to that is jubilation. Hillbilly logic, man. Hillbilly logic. And look, my criticisms of Deontay Wilder are more to do with the stuff that he says and the decisions he makes outside the ring. Because inside the ring, I've always believed that Deontay Wilder is the truth. For many, many years, when people were saying that Wilder's garbage and he's fought nobody, and many Americans were saying this at the time too, Wilder had very little support from American boxing fans prior to probably the Ortiz fight. He had very little support. But during that whole period, I was saying, no, Wilder's the truth. Wilder can actually fight. Right? I know he's not conventional and his technique looks horrible and all this kind of stuff, but the guy is awkwardly effective. And that right hand is one of the best punches I've ever seen in boxing in my life. And I've been around a long time. And that right hand right there could compete in any era. But so in the ring, Wilder's a very, very dangerous man. But outside the ring, I mean, he's dangerous in another way because he's dangerously stupid. And they say birds of a feather flock together. Wilder has cultivated this following of people who are also dangerously stupid. So, you know what? I think Wilder, I think he's a warrior. I know he's a warrior. A warrior, not a warrior. All right, let me just clear up what I'm saying there. But in terms of the Anthony Joshua situation and him not really wanting to fight, I don't necessarily think he didn't want to fight because he was scared. I just think he is such an easy person to manipulate mentally by the people around him that they convinced him it wasn't the best thing to do to fight AJ. Maybe not because they thought, well, they certainly wouldn't have told him that we think AJ is going to beat you. No, they would have come up with some other kind of reason, some kind of strategic reason why we shouldn't be fighting AJ now. And so Deontay Wilder in his head was like, okay, yeah, cool, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Let's not fight AJ. This is my reading of the situation. If Deontay Wilder and AJ were down a back alley somewhere and, they had beef, do I think Deontay Wilder would back down? Hell no. I don't think he would back down at all. But in the context of business and what have you, I think Deontay Wilder did back down. He did listen to the whispers in his ear, telling him that it's not the right time to take the fight now. Or maybe they were a bit more sophisticated than that. Maybe they put a bunch of lies about what Team AJ were offering him or what John Skipper at DAZN was offering him. Because, again, he's not the sharpest tool in the box. Very emotional character, very easy for the likes of Heyman and Finkel to manipulate him. Very easy. Deontay Wilder's a guy who couldn't think his way out of a wet paper bag. He could probably punch his way out of a concrete cell, but he couldn't think his way out of a wet paper bag. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. It's Satman, I'm out.